past 2 days have been so fucking crazy. I don't think that when I'm living life that I'm processing it. I think that I need more time to myself because I have to process everything that I'm living through as I'm living through it. Most people live through stuff and they process it and deal with it head on. I can't do that. It takes me time to process everything. I have to peel layers back like an onion, and it just takes me a while, and it always has. It's taken me a long time to be able to even realize that these emotions that I'm having are impacting me so significantly, but they do. So I went to my doctor. First, I want to talk about these strip clubs. I want to talk about how I went in for an audition, and the club that I worked at was so dead. It's called Savannah's of Winston-Salem. It was so dead that they put me in a bad position because they were so desperate to have a girl there. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. Your poor planning does not necessitate an emergency on my end. When I'm going in these clubs, not only are there no girls, but there's no customers. The girls don't want to work there because the staff treat them like shit, or either the club steals all of their money, or either they don't make any money when they actually are showing up and working 60 hours a damn week. There's lots of reasons that the girls are stepping away from stripping. A lot of it has to do with the internet. They can go on OnlyFans and make $2.99 per picture, So, there's a lot of components as to why women are backing away from the strip clubs and why strip clubs do not have any females to work. Now, one would think that if you don't have any girls to work and you're a manager, you would be as nice as fucking possible to the girls that you do have coming in the door. Just a theory. That's just how I would behave, But also there's no customers. And the reason there's no customers is because when your income is based off of everybody else's income, and those people, 70-something% of which are living paycheck to paycheck, there's no money to be had. So these guys are broke. They don't have no money to come in and support Jessica and her 5 kids, okay? So you have girls that are coming to work and not making any money. You have customers that are either not coming in, or when they do come in, they don't spend any money. They just sit there and take up space and waste your time and try to touch on you, So it's just bad. I've been saying for a while that clubs are going to come to an end, and they absolutely are. But I want to talk about how these clubs will absolutely put you in danger and won't allow you to wipe your own ass. So, when I worked the other day, I was not planning to work because I had a trade school appointment. Not only that, I've been doing this bullshit class online that I've not finished yet, that I was supposed to already been finished. So I had other things to do. I always have something to do. When you live out of your car, there is always something to do. Tons of things every day. So he asked me if I wanted to stay. Now, there was 2 girls there, one of which I actually knew from years prior. She is a sweet girl. I think that she has a great head on her shoulders, and I think that she is using the dance industry as a stepping stone, which is what it's for. So she's being smart about it, and she's a sweet girl. And it was really cool to see how much she's changed and who she's become over the past 4 years. Because when I met her in 2019, she was barely legal. Baby girl was maybe 18, 19. She's only 23 now. So y'all do the math. Maybe she's 24. I think maybe she said 23. So she started dancing young, but she's changed a lot. Her name's Cece. She's sweet, wonderful girl. And, it's crazy to see the person that she's become, how stripping has changed her. When she first come in, she was baby-faced. The girl next door look, she's not the type of girl that has tattoos everywhere. She's more like me. She keeps it kind of old school. So beautiful, beautiful girl, but she's become so feminine, and she, apparently is in school. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. This is what dancing is supposed to be helping. This is the point. So she's in school, and she's been with the same guy since high school. She's with her high school sweetheart. He works, and it seems like they are a stable, functioning, healthy couple. And I'm really proud of her. And I see how dancing has changed her life in a positive manner. The girl that I'm talking about is not the type of girl that you are going to find doing drugs. You're more likely to find her in the library. She has goals, and she does not let things get in the way of those goals. And she is using the money that she makes to put herself through school. And that is what dancing was for. That's the whole point. So I'm really proud of her, and it's great to see people that are doing good. So there's two girls. There's one girl that's constantly, she's like crying, snotting everywhere, upset. Apparently she's in an abusive situation. If anybody has empathy for that, it would be me. However, I understand that it's hard to have a hard life and go through things and go to work and try to work through all of the stress of your personal life. I understand that. But something that looks really bad on a club and all of the people in it is when you have a stripper that is absolutely responsible for the situation that she's in, but she's sitting there crying and, talking about how mean her boyfriend is and how, they fight and blah, 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 blah. Okay, but you still go back every day, and I understand that it might take her some time to get away, but what you don't need to be doing is telling customers your whole life story. Like, it's a bad look for business to be crying in your beer when you have money sitting in front of you. The majority of men that walk into a strip club go there with a purpose, to get a dance, to grab a beer, to unload, to enjoy themselves for a minute. And then you get in here, and we got Becky over here fucking crying in her lemon drop. And when people say, oh, well, I can help you get out of that situation, Becky don't want to take none of the help, which is fine. I didn't want to either. I did it on my own. I left on my own. But something I wasn't doing was in the strip club crying to customers about the abusive situation that I was in. It's just a bad look. So there was two girls and like two customers. Those customers were actually regulars of those two girls. So when they asked me to work, I was like, well, I'm already dressed. I'm already in heels. It's, 1:45 in the afternoon. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just work. I'm already here. I can do that school thing on Thursday. I can do this on Friday. And I really need the money because I'm behind on my truck payment. So I get in there and I start working. Well, something that is very common nowadays in strip clubs is that customers will come in and they'll want to buy girls drinks and they'll want to get everybody in the club drunk, but they don't spend any fucking money. That's not okay. I'm sorry, it's not. I can get drunk on my own dime. You think I don't make enough money to go buy a fucking 6-pack of beer? Like, I'm not there for that. I absolutely hate drinking. I do. I truly do. And, it's no secret that I have substance abuse issues. Heroin. I've been clean. It's no, I'm still in recovery, but I don't view that as a huge part or issue for me, like heroin or anything like that, because I don't participate in it. I don't even know where to get anything like that anymore. But, these two guys that were in there that were regular customers of these two girls kept buying everybody drinks. And every time I would turn around, my wine glass was full. I went to the bathroom twice and I poured 2 cups of wine down the sink. And then this guy comes in. And he was weird. I don't know if he was like coked out. I don't know if he had anxiety. Listen, something that I've noticed is that married men, get a thrill off of doing something that they know that they shouldn't be doing. They absolutely get an adrenaline rush off of it. Like coming into a strip club, married men, some of them, you can see physical signs of the adrenaline that they're getting. They're all jacked up and amped up because they know they're not supposed to be there. And it's absolutely a high for them. And I've seen this happen a lot. So I don't know if he was amped up because of that. I don't know if he was already drunk. I don't know if he was on drugs. I don't know, but he was weird, okay? He was super weird. And I was really surprised when he asked me for a dance. Really surprised. And then we walk up to the bar to pay the bartender for the dance because you have to go downstairs. And he ends up paying like $300 for a champagne room or whatever. And that's one of the smaller ones. I think that they can go up to like 1,000. So I was still grateful though, because that's still $200 in my pocket. And every little bit helps. That's 2 days of AC for me, you know. I wish I were playing. I wish I were playing. I've been spending so much money on gas since I got my AC fixed. So I'm grateful. We go downstairs. They come and he goes to the bar and gets us more drinks. At this point, I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I want some food. All I'd been thinking about was food. I'd had oatmeal. That's all I'd had all day. And I'm hypoglycemic. When I don't eat, my sugar gets low and I feel like I'm gonna die. And I was already feeling kind of dizzy. Anytime I was on stage, I felt nauseous when I was up there. So I was having these physical symptoms of hunger. And I kept saying, like, can I go get food? When can I? At 6 o'clock, as I'm giving this dance, this guy named Sean comes in. Now, I couldn't remember why I quit at this club back in 2019. Sean is why. Because Sean is an asshole. And Sean likes attention from women that work for him. And if you don't brown nose Sean, then you have problems with Sean. I wish that it were as simple as me going in, doing my job, not causing any problems, making the club money, making myself money, tipping everybody out, and going home. A lot of these clubs have people in positions of power that are perverts. Yeah. They salt that job out just because they're perverts. And there's managers that feed off of other girls. Like they want, a lot of these girls are young and they're dumb and they absolutely will be screwing these managers. I've seen it, once again. Not only have I been in the industry, I ran a strip club. My ex owned a strip club. So once again, I've been there, done that. So a lot of these managers and owners, they absolutely expect their dancers to hop on their junk. And the only strip club manager, owner I've ever slept with was a man that I was in a relationship with for almost a decade that I loved. And actually, him owning a strip club caused more problems. It was not beneficial for me whatsoever that he owned a club. It was ultimately the reason that we would break up, so it caused so many problems in our relationship. It's not cute, but Sean most definitely loves outside attention from his strippers. Like he wants the attention in the club. He wants to feel like he's somebody, you got to pet his ego in order to have a job. So I wasn't going for it in 2019, and surprise, surprise, I was on drugs back then, and I'm sober now. So if I wouldn't do it when I was on drugs, what makes you think that I'm going to do it when I'm in the right frame of fucking mind? Kiss your ass. I wish I would. So anyways, I do this VIP dance. The guy is getting like antsy and wound up, and he's complaining that I'm not drinking my wine. I am starving at this point. When I tell you, if a chicken would have ran by, I could have ate a whole damn chicken. You would have saw me in VIP plucking feathers. I was starving, okay? And I'm getting ill at this point. And I'd already asked to go home several times and to get food. And anyways, the guy ends up getting up during the dance and running out of the VIP. Like, he just takes off. So then the bartender comes in to check on us. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, where did he go? And she's like, I think he left. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, this is so weird. I said, dude, it's literally my first dance. It's my first dance of the day. Like, listen, if you go in and it starts off like this, just know that the rest of the night is going to just be crazy person after crazy person. I was like, where did he go? I really do think that he was on something, or either he was extremely drunk. You know how, like, when you're drinking, you can get to a point where you're like, oh shit, I'm fucked up. It's like, oh, it's time to stop. Or, you know, I think it was either that, like, the alcohol hit him or the lack of drugs. He needed a bump or something. He got the hell out of there. Oh, and another thing, when we were going back to do our dance, he kept saying, like, when he walked up to the bar to pay for the $300 dance, it was like $320 or something. He tipped the bartender $20. He kept saying, oh, I know y'all were going to rob me for $1,000. When he said it initially, I was like, whoa, hold up. I literally turned him around to face me and I said, whoa, why do you think that? Has somebody done something to you like that before? I hear tons of stories. I want to know. And because I hear them and I listen, because this is part of the reason we don't have customers coming into these clubs. Because why does a customer want to come in and buy 2 beers? He gets home and realizes that that bartender has done scammed him for $1,000. It's happening more and more than ever because of these clubs. They're poorly managed and ran. And you have a lot of managers that will go for shit like that. They absolutely are in on the scam. And so when he said this, I wanted to know what had happened to him. And sure enough, he told me somebody had stole $1,000 at a different club from him. And I told him, I said, listen, I want to assure you that they are not going to scam you. And the whole time I'm saying it, I'm like, these motherfuckers better not scam him. They better not scam him. They didn't, though. When we got down, I made him pull out his phone and we looked at his bank app. And I was like, see, I said, they don't do shit like that here. But there are absolutely clubs that do. And I don't do shit like that. I've never scammed anybody like that, ever. I had a manager that was telling me the day that I got hired, he said that he had another girl that worked at another club, and she would do this thing where she would get these guys into VIP, and then she would tell them to take their pants off. And so these guys think that they're about to get, you know, and they take their pants off, and then she would go run and get a bouncer and tell the bouncer, like, oh, he's been being inappropriate, and they would kick the guy out. Now, at this point, she's already got her money because he had to pay before they went in the room. It's crazy. Oh, and I forgot. I think he said something about she'll ask for money up front, too. So, like, once she gets in the room, she'll ask for money and then say, take your pants off. Like, she's going to service him, and then she gets the bouncer. It was something like that. The manager, Sammy at Savannah's, is great. Sammy is awesome. I give Sammy a 10 out of 10. CC at Savannah's is amazing. I give CC a 10 out of 10. The bartender, Lindsay, was amazing. And, you know, overall, I think that Savannah's can be a good club. I think that it's clear that they will absolutely fill you full of liquor or beer or whatever, wine in my case, and not give a fuck. And everybody's like, well, why don't you want to work here? Why don't you want to work there? Because of shit like this. When your need for just having a girl in the club is more important than my well-being, I got to go. I kept reiterating that I needed to go get food, but they didn't want to let me go because they didn't have another girl. Well, gee, I wonder why. Could it be that you don't let nobody feed themselves around here? And then like I said, every time I turned around, that fucking glass was full. And I'm like, who is doing this? You know, that's rare. Strip clubs, typically, you have to buy your drinks, okay? So when I kept turning around and that glass was full, I'm just like, who is doing this? And it was one of the regular customers for the other girls. Like I said, there was 2 guys and 2 girls. And, you know, I really appreciate that. But at the same time, I essentially was drinking on an empty stomach. And after my 6 hours, I kept asking to go, and he kept bullshitting me around, telling me, oh, wait 30 minutes, wait 15 minutes, wait 20 minutes. No, I have not eaten. I've worked over 6 hours. I got to go. They absolutely don't give a fuck. Now, normally I pack a lunchbox. I've talked about this before. When I say I pack a lunchbox, I'm not joking. This is a lunchbox. Everything that I need, I put in here and I take to work with me, and I carry this bitch around all day. This is not a typical dancer bag. Most bitches have Gucci or Prada. This is Walmart, and I like to kill several birds with one stone. Yeah, it is a nasty game. Absolutely. You know, here's another thing. I've worked for clubs that absolutely care about their girls, and they will find Ubers and hotels for their girls if their girls are intoxicated. I've also worked for other strip clubs where they would pack me up in my fucking car, even though I was pissy, falling down drunk, and send me on my way. And I got a DWI. I sure did. Leaving the club on Halloween, I crashed. So, you know, that's why I don't care if I have to go to every single club. I'm not going to work for people that put me in danger. And these people absolutely put me in danger. I kept saying, I need to go. I have things to do. At one point, I walked in the office and I said, hey, there's nobody in here. There was not a customer, not a girl, not a nobody. I said, there's nobody in here. Can I go? I've been here for 6 hours. And he says, no, you need to wait till 8:30. He literally was saying that just to piss me off. Me and this guy have history. He tried in 2019 to get me to kiss his ass. I refused to kiss his ass. He's a horrible manager. He does not need to be in a place of power. He's childish. He's immature. And he absolutely antagonizes the dancers to get a rise out of them. And that's immature. So immature. Like, why are you going to mistreat the very people that are putting money in your pocket? So I didn't like him in 2019, and when I saw him the other day, I was like, fuck, nope, no, thank you. So at one point I go and I'm like, hey, can I leave? And he said, this is like the 4th time that I said, I am hungry. I'm shaking. My hands, y'all, were shaking so bad. And my speech was slurred. Okay. I was like, how can I explain it? It's almost like having like vertigo, where you go to stand up and you don't feel stable. Your balance is off. And I'd been going through that up on stage dancing. So, he turns around and he says, I'm sorry, it's so funny. He says, let me get it right. He says, just because you've made the money you wanted to make today, Brooke, doesn't mean that you can just leave or something like that. And, but, you know, he was insinuating that I wanted to leave because I had a little bit of money that I wanted to go buy drugs. That's what he was doing. So for those that don't know, there's a lot of dancers who struggle with the disease of addiction. And anytime they get, I'm talking even a small amount of money, like $100, they're out of the club buying drugs. Like, they will literally give a dance, and by the time that dance is ended, they already got street clothes on, ready to head out the damn door and leave the club to go meet their guy to buy some drugs. It's a bad problem. It didn't used to be like that. I blame that on these strip club managers. Like, you know, because it didn't used to be like that. So for him to insinuate, you know, and when I knew him in 2019, I absolutely had a heroin addiction, you know. But what I'm saying is it's very obvious that I'm sober. You know, back when I used to dance and I did drugs, I covered my arms because of the track marks. I had to cover the tops of my feet because of the track marks. Like, you could tell that I was on drugs. So, me and my recovery, what you're not going to do is tell me what I'm doing with my money or insinuate that I'm on drugs. Like, the audacity of some lame-ass strip club manager to tell me what I'm doing with my money. Bruh. I said, oh, that's what we're doing? I turned around, I walked away, I went and cleaned my locker out, I put my street clothes on, and I fucking bounced. I don't want to work for anyone who is mentally manipulative like that. Why do I want to work for someone who can't even, here's another thing. Once again, surface level person. This motherfucker didn't say anything to me other than, hey, how you been? And when I did not reciprocate this conversation, then all of a sudden, I can't go home when I'm scheduled to go home. When I'm scheduled to get off of work after I've worked the hours that are mandated. He was hoping that I would jump on his dick, just like he was in 2019. And when I failed to do so, then he got butthurt and wanted to throw his fucking power around, insult me, gaslight me. I'm not working for people like that. I don't have to. I'm smart enough, pretty enough to go to any club that I want. And he absolutely has these young girls brainwashed into thinking that that's the only club they could ever work at. And I just want Cece to know that if you want to go anywhere else and dance, you can, baby. You can. You don't have to stay anywhere working for people like that. And here's the thing. If he was any kind of decent fucking human, the first thing out of his mouth would have been like, oh my God, Brooke, you look good. Looks like you're taking care of yourself. Looks like you clean your shit up. But he didn't. Because that's not what those type of people want. Those type of guys want girls that are strung out. Those type of guys want girls that are easily manipulated. Girls that are suffering from the disease of addiction. Pervert. I was going to read y'all this review. Because y'all know, listen, I was thinking the other day, I was like, damn, maybe I should just go from club to club to club and give these honest reviews on what the club is about, what's going on in the club. I was thinking I could categorize it, like, rate it, like, number one, the staff, the customers, the girls, and the facility. Number two, the money cuts, schedule, and business. Number five, overall experience that I have to deal with any drama, where the girl's strung out, where the customer's aggressive and VIP, all of the ins and outs of what I went through and how I felt in the establishment. Now, I've been thinking about it. I don't know. Obviously, I have a bad habit of starting things, not finishing them. A lot of that has to do with my lifestyle and the way that I have to survive right now. There's all of these great things. Hello, good morning, Moonrise. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you guys'. I wanted to just get out what I went through the other day and it's really shameful for me to get that fucking upset. And the last thing I need to be doing is drinking. That toothpaste leaves a ring around my lips. I think I leave it in there too long. So I'm looking for the fucking strip club review. Took screenshots with my other phone. So, serious. I had to write a review because, like I said, for me to be there longer than 6 hours, which is what they mandate you work, which is illegal. I'll talk about that in a little while if I can remember. But it is absolutely illegal to mandate an independent contractor to work. Due to the fact that they're an independent contractor, they make their own schedule. So when these clubs are saying, oh, you have to work then, you have to work there, you have to do this, It's highly illegal. The whole point of being on a 1099 is to make your own damn hours and your schedule. Like, it's just crazy that these clubs have gotten to where they can actually break the law and do it, and nobody says anything. So, I wrote a review, because this is what I'm going to start doing. This is the only way that I can fight back and let my voice be heard. I couldn't for the life of me remember why I quit here until 6 p.m. and Sean walked in the door. If it were not for the other workers, Sammy, Lindsay, I would tear this club apart in this review. Sean is a prime example of how one bad apple can ruin the whole bunch. He's the type of man that will cut his nose off despite his face. He's very unprofessional and rude and will definitely try to gaslight you into staying over 6 hours because they have no girls to work. Gee, I wonder why. To start with, I had school obligations on Wednesday afternoon, so I swung through just to do an audition. After getting hired, they asked me to work. I was already there in a dress and heels with makeup on. I decided to stay because I don't mind helping out. However, I'm hypoglycemic and had not eaten yet because I have a schedule. I also have extreme food allergies and cannot eat anything fried. They only offer fried food. And let me tell you something, y'all. I would not recommend eating anything from any fucking strip club. They probably ain't changed that fucking oil since COVID. By 8, there was no one in there. I was the only girl. I'd been there 6 hours. I went to Sean and asked at 7:30 if I could go home, and he said by 8:30. By 8:15, there was still no reason to hold me, and I was over my 6 hours. I got there at 2 o'clock. My 6 hours was up. Now, maybe Sean doesn't know how to tell time or add. It's raining, y'all. I love it. Maybe Sean doesn't know how to tell time or add, but 2 to 8 is 6 hours. I gave one dance totaling $200, and in parentheses, I wrote, which is 1/5 of my truck payment with the little clown emoji. Because remember, he says, just because you made the money you wanted to make doesn't mean you can just leave. No, motherfucker, I worked the 6 hours y'all mandated. $200 does something for me. So that's why if you were taking your clothes off for a living, you should be making thousands of dollars a week. People have forgotten their purpose. It says, just because you made the money that you wanted to make today, Brooke, doesn't mean that you can just leave. I'm sorry, what? This motherfucker. Listen, ladies, stay away. I'm telling you, any manager that's going to try to gaslight you, then throw money that you earned in your face, and then try to make it seem like you're on drugs, and that's why you won. He was insinuating that I was on drugs. I couldn't possibly have a life outside of that place. I couldn't possibly be starving because I didn't bring any food with me, because I had no intention of actually working. I did it as a favor. I've been club hopping all around this country, and the reason these clubs are going out of business is because the managers and the way that they're being ran. Sean is a perfect example of this. Savannah's used to be where it was at. Not anymore. I sat for 6 hours and talked to 2 men in 6 hours. So let's talk about the dancers for a minute. One of the dancers is Cece. She is amazing. 10 out of 10. Men, if you have to, then ask for Cece. Something that I notice in the industry that is common is women who have these pity stories. It's probably they want to feel appreciated, not obligated. The fuck? Most guys come there to enjoy themselves, not hear about problems. Sean is the type of man that will end up alone and bitter. A sad, sad man who gets a thrill out of trying to abuse dancers. He loves to talk me. I quit because of him. Sean is the type of strip club manager that looks at his dancers as personal property. What a joy to work for someone who has no respect for themselves or others. A gaslighting narcissist who is mad that no one's ever touched his pee-pee. Back to the money. Once again, the gaslighting. Damn it, did it freeze? Sean is the type of strip club manager that looks at his dancers as personal property. What a joy to work for someone who has no respect for themselves and others. We are taking our clothes off from me. Anyone that we are taking our clothes off for fuck's sake. Anyone that takes their clothes off for money deserves over $2,000 a week on a consistent basis. That's real money, you fucking chump. Yeah, so that was the review out. I mean, you know, and I really should have put in there how they coerce their dancers into getting drunk, but then at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck what happens to them. Thank God I have enough experience to know when I need to cut myself off, but there's a lot of girls that are not able to do that. But for him to say, like, oh, just, you know, what he said was, you got the money that you wanted to make. That's what he said. He said, just because you made the money that you wanted to make. Hold up, motherfucker. Really? 200? I'm about 2 million shy. Yeah, I got the fuck out of there. Quick. I got to go. But like I said, there was some great people that works there. Sammy is amazing. He's the daytime manager. I would recommend anybody that's interested in working at Savannah's, that I would recommend working daytime at Savannah's, because that means that you will completely skip over Sean. Sean is a huge issue. Sean is the reason that they don't have any ladies working. And it's sad, because it could be, once again, like Leather and Lace of Gastonia, it could be a good club. But, you know, once again, you have people in positions of power that are too stupid to realize that their behavior directly impacts the business. What they're doing to dancers directly impacts the business. No girl wants to go work for a guy that's going to talk to her like that when she's done all of the hard work that she needs to do to get to where she is. Do you know how hard it is to get clean off of heroin? Empathy and understanding. I don't want to work for anybody like that at all, ever again. If I wanted to be around that, I'd be with one of my exes. Hey babe, the blonde crafter. I love that name. You probably have a lot of skills. I mean, if you name your channel The Crafter, you probably make stuff. Very interesting. I'll have to check out your page. So Sammy is so cool. He's down home, relatable. And I actually met him in 2019, but I didn't remember him because he's lost like 100 pounds, y'all. He used to be like a bigger guy, over 250 pounds. And so when I ran into him during my audition, I didn't even recognize the guy because he's a whole new person. I mean, down to the way that he even takes care of his beard. He just looks different. And I love to run into people that have changed and they've bettered their lives, like this girl, Cece. When I first met her, she was a baby, you know, and she's still a baby. 23 is still a baby. And, you know, it seems like she's doing really well for herself, and it sounded like maybe she was doing like real estate school or something like that, because we were talking about properties and leases and stuff like that with another girl, the girl that was complaining and crying that she was in an abusive situation. I understand that it's hard to come to work and push through all of the stress and do your job, but complaining to customers about a situation that you put yourself in is just not a good look. And at the end of the day, she went home to him. So unless she was planning to leave right then and there, I didn't see the point in her hashing out her relationship in front of a bunch of strangers. It's just a bad look. And when you're behaving like that and these guys come in and they have to deal with that, they want to go home to their wives. You're doing the same thing that he was trying to escape from. They don't want that. When guys come in, they want chipper, they want happy, they want, you know, girls that are ready to have a good time and hang out and talk and laugh. You know, they don't want Deborah over here snotting everywhere because she stays. You know, and here's another thing. And in my opinion, this is my opinion, a lot of these girls want to be in that situation. You know, when you bounce ideas off of these girls, this girl, she shut everything down. I'm like, well, do you have a license? She's like, I can get one. I said, so you don't have any restrictions? You haven't had a DWI? She's like, no. I'm like, well, why don't you get one of your regulars to help you buy an old beater and convert it into an apartment on wheels? You know, when you tell these girls this, or you think outside the box, it goes in one ear and out the other. Because at the end of the day, they want to be in that situation. Most, not all. Hell, for the first 10 or 12 years of my situation, I thought that I wanted to be there. And I behaved as such. But when I finally realized that most of my problems were stemming from the abuse that I had put myself in, like the person that I had put myself around, when I realized that all of my sadness and depression and all of that was stemming from that, I walked away from that person immediately when I realized that. When I realized that this person had put me on drugs, had given me money to go catch criminal charges in hopes of me becoming a felon so that I would be stuck with them. When I woke up and got clean and realized that this person had set the stage for me to destroy my own life so that they could have me for forever. When I realized that, I got away as quick as fucking possible. And most people do. When most abuse victims finally wake up and say, oh, wait a second, this is abuse. I need to get out of this. It's up to me to protect me. To sit there and know where all of your problems stem from and then decide to go home to it, you're doing it to yourself. Once again, you're the captain of your ship. And it is up to you to protect yourself. And it is a horrible look to go into a strip club crying about an abusive situation that you're just going to walk home to. I'm looking for toothpaste. I'm sorry, you guys. I already brushed my teeth once, but my mouth just feels And I do have on shorts. I just don't know where they're at. Yes, I do. Oh, all right. So I had my first doctor's appointment with a new doctor Wednesday. See how bad my memory is? I don't know what day it was. It was this week. It was the day after I stripped. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking to this new doctor. It's for my Suboxone. And she says, well, actually, I don't know what her pronouns are. I can tell that she has them. But, you know, honestly, I'm so uncomfortable in that situation. I don't even know how to ask. Like, you know, you can tell that something's going on, but what do I say? Like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. They go by Laura. They go by Laura. But, hey, Eric. The blonde crafter, yeah, I'm not interested in anything like that. I think that it's a bad idea to do OnlyFans. I think that OnlyFans is one of the huge downfalls of society currently. I think that our younger generation of women are suffering mentally, and I think that these corporations are absolutely evil and playing off of the mental instability in our country right now. Like, how can I'm not making any sense. I sound crazy. I know. I feel like OnlyFans is the devil. There we go. And I feel like these companies like OnlyFans, these porn industry people, okay, I feel like they play off of women that are already hurt and damaged. And I feel like a lot of us, I know what it's like. 1 in 3 of us have dealt with sexual harassment, sexual assault, molestation. 1 out of 3. So us women have been through a lot, and what we don't need to do is expose our body in that manner and harm ourselves even more, because it absolutely will be detrimental to your mental health and your well-being. It's not healthy. And I don't know why we have people out here thinking that it is, or that it can be lucrative when it's not. There is no money in OnlyFans. I don't know where these lies come from, but there's no money in OnlyFans. Unless you're in the top 1%. Not only that, the reason that I don't want to do OnlyFans is because I don't want that out there. I don't want my kids fucking seeing that or something one day, or my grandkids, or my great aunt, my great niece. Could you imagine, like, the embarrassment? There's a creator on here. It's a young boy. He's probably 15, and his sister is one of the top OnlyFans creator. And there's an interview with this boy interviewing his sister, who is a porn star, and you can hear in his voice how her actions have impacted his life. It's evil. It's evil. And I want no part of it. And the only reason that I strip is because I have to survive. I've looked for a regular job. I'm still looking for a regular job. There's days that I do upwards of 7 interviews. And I'm unhireable. The Department of Social Services and the Alamance County Sheriff's Department made sure to make me unhireable. They did it on purpose. They ruined my life on purpose because I ran my mouth. I've got to find a cup. I would advise against it. That's all I'm saying. I would advise against it. The Blonde Crafter. I don't think that it's going to go the way that you think it's going to go. I'm in North Carolina this morning. Good morning. Afternoon. When I tell you that I've not slept in years, and I slept till 12 o'clock today. Yeah, I think that all lines of sex work are bad. Escorting, stripping, porn. I mean, at least the girls that are hookers, though, their asshole is not all over the internet, you know? And that, I feel like when girls escort, I feel like the majority of those women were sought out with the intention of selling. I've known a lot of victims of human trafficking that were escorts. And those escorts did not want to escort. They were coerced and forced into escorting. And not only that, they were blackmailed into escorting. And a lot of the girls that I've met that were escorts were young as fuck when they got into it. Homeless, hungry, no parental guidance, young. There's an MO for these sex traffickers, and escort owners are sex traffickers. So I think all of it's bad. I think all of it's evil. I've got a history with sex work. You know, I've been stripping and stuff since I was young, and it sucks that I have to continually go back to it. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad that I have it if I need it, because it's on the back burner at all times. And if something happens, then I can just go strip. I mean, that is a luxury that most people, you know, don't have, but at what cost? Because at the end of the day, I'm harming myself. I'm putting myself in danger. It's not a great environment. I'm meeting the most shittiest people that you can meet. And it's not benefiting me really at all, except for financially. And I had a job interview at Harbor Freight, Krispy Kreme. Harbor Freight is like a Lowe's. And he pretty much told me that he would have hired me. But since my last drug conviction was only 8 years ago and not 10, he said if that drug conviction would have been 10 years old, that they would have hired me. That's the first time somebody's even talked to me after an interview. They usually don't even fucking call me. I'll drive an hour somewhere, spend $40 in gas to get there and back, and then they don't even give me a courtesy call to tell me why they didn't hire me. I've done hundreds of interviews, over 300 in the last 8 months, since October of last year. So how many months is that? Yeah, like 8 months. But, you know, there comes a point where it's like, well, you know, what am I supposed to do if nobody's going to hire me? And there's only two options, you know, go back to school, pick up a skill that I can open my own business with, but also at the same time, I have to keep stripping until I find work. And, you know, I was talking to my doctor the other day, and I was telling them that I was unhireable. And they said, oh, no, there's no way. And then I started telling them the ins and outs and all of the mitigating circumstances. And then they were like, oh, wow. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. 2 counts of attempted murder, felony possession of heroin, like, you know, and it's long, you know. So, and these people don't care that it's been since 2016 or 17 since I was in trouble. They don't care that, you know, that I'm sober. They don't care. It just looks bad, and they don't even want to deal with it, and they wipe their hands as soon as they can of me. And it sucks. So I have to keep pushing forward. And, you know, I'm glad that I'm still in a good enough health to be able to dance. And here's the thing, you know, I was so scared when I went back to dancing. I was like, oh my God, I'm in my 30s. I'm closer to 40 than 30. Like, I was so nervous. I was just like, man, I know I'm going to get in there, and there's going to be all these cute little teenagers, and, you know, I'm not going to make any money because I'm older. I don't know why I worry so much. Because I get in there, and I'm the top earner at every single club that I walk into. So that tells you that if I'm a 50 out of 10 in these clubs, that tells you what type of girls they have in there and how bad it is. Because I shouldn't be considered a model in a strip club, but I absolutely am considered a model in a strip club in comparison. So the quality of women have went down significantly. That's another reason these guys don't want to come in here. What are they paying for? They can pay for some girl that's crying, okay, all over herself about her abusive boyfriend or relationship. He can find that in his wife, you know, and if he wants some woman that looks like she ain't never showered and she got hairy ass legs with hairy ass armpits, he does not want that. That's not what they come in there looking for. When I tell you that I worked at the Cheetah Club of Raleigh 3 weeks ago, and there was a girl that they hired that had armpit hair as long as my hair, I can't. When I say that her leg had black hair, and she says, we're sitting at a table with customers, professional businessmen. She has in tracks that look like they've been in her head since Jesus was a boy. When I say that her hair was matted, listen, it's one thing to be a mess. It's a whole nother thing to be nasty. That hair that she had in her head was so nasty, it stunk. And this club hired this girl who does not have access to a razor. I gave her a razor. The quality of women in strip clubs needs to be right next to fucking supermodel. That's what it used to be, and that's what it should be now. One of the reasons that the industry is dying is because these girls are in there and they don't even, their fucking toes look like ferrets have been chewing on them. Like, remember, I invest the money back into myself. The money that I make, I invest in myself. Now, I don't get my nails done. My hands are beautiful, though. They're not wretched and nasty. But, you know, a lot of girls keep their nails done. There's girls that have had cosmetic surgery, such as boobs. There's girls that do eyelashes. You're not seeing that anymore. You're not seeing that in these clubs anymore. You're seeing rough, Like, I can't even put it into words. It's unbelievable, some of these clubs that I've walked into, the type of women that they hire. But they're desperate. They don't have anybody to work, so they have no choice but to hire girls that are not up to standard. That girl with the fucking armpit hair, though, I just can't. Like, I can't. And then her hair stunk so bad. God. If I can smell that, how can you not smell that? Because it's on you. They should get married. Who should get married? Oh, God. Florida clubs are the worst clubs, man. That's where Florida clubs are rampant with prostitution. We do things a little different up here. You know, I've made it perfectly clear that dancing is dancing. It's a fantasy. It's an allure. You're coming in for the theatrical performing. Now, private dancing, VIP, couch dances, that's, you know, that's what guys want. But the clubs in Florida, there is none of that. There's no, yeah, it's just straight prostitution. Now, this is from the Jacksonville area to the Key West area. So that covers the whole east side of the East Coast in Florida. And it's sad. I've been all through there. And it's just nasty. 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 I gave a $70 lap dance one time. And this girl was on her knees giving the guy blowy. And then I look over to make sure that the people beside me see what this bitch is doing, and this girl's sitting on one. $70. And then my guy is mad at me because I'm not doing what these bitches are doing. $70. That won't even fill up my gas tank, y'all. $70. Oh, for some AIDS. It's a damn shame. So one thing about the Miami Beach area is that you have a lot of the Latin community down there. Now, there's people from Cuba, there's people from Guatemala, there's people from Mexico, there's people from everywhere. There's a lot of Spanish people Cuban people in Miami. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'll never forget. I stopped at this like roadside coffee stand. I was lost in the middle of fucking Miami, and my phone wouldn't work. I couldn't get in touch with my brother. I was out there for a wedding, and I stopped at this like roadside stand to get coffee, and it was Cuban Cabana that I'd never had before, and it's delicious. It's like espresso. It is espresso. It's Cuban espresso, okay? But I'm talking to the lady, and, you know, she barely speaks English, and I barely speak English, too. So we're just trying to figure out, you know, payment and all of that. And she hands me this little tiny, teeny cup of coffee. I was like, yo, where's the coffee? It was literally like a shot, okay? And I was really confused. I didn't understand. You know, it was like $2 or something. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I said, can I get another one? She's like, no, no, no. She's like, your heart go boom, boom, boom. I was like, what? She was trying to tell me that all that caffeine would make my heart explode. It was hilarious, though. Once again, both of us did not speak proper English. So it was hilarious, but I'll never forget her because she was so sweet. And she gave me a free pastry, some kind of, it tastes like cream cheese, like a cheesecake, but it looked like a biscuit. So anyways, great people. My brother married into a Cuban family. I've had some of the best times out in that area. Hialeah, Homestead. People talk shit about that area. I would much rather live in Hialeah or Homestead than Miami. But that's just me. So anyways, the clubs down there, they're just prostitution. If you're not going to sell your ass, then you're not going to be able to make any money. And that's just the sad part of the Miami area. Now, I'm talking about Tootsies. I'm talking about Showgirls. I'm talking about Booty Trap. These are all clubs that I've worked at that were prostitution driven. And, you know, This was going on back in 2012 when I went down there. 2013, 2014. So if it was going on then, I can only imagine how bad those clubs are now. And that's another thing. If I wanted to escort or prostitute myself, wouldn't you think that I would have, like, I would be more professional about it? Like, I don't understand why these strip clubs, I mean, I do understand why these strip clubs have implemented this, because they're desperate to stay open. They think that it's going to help them make money. And they're so stupid, they don't realize that that is actually the quickest way to go out of fucking business. So, I don't know. It sucks. It sucks that, I walk into these places and these managers treat me like they know who I am. Like that fucking Sean guy. Like, don't say that I made money and now I want to leave because I want to go buy drugs. No, I have a life outside of here. I have not eaten today. And if you don't give a fuck about that, then I don't give a fuck about you. I quit. Again. Again. Oh, I knew I'd work there, but I couldn't remember why I quit. It was because of this guy. It pisses me off when they put me in danger, and it's just like, bro, like, the illegal shit that goes on. Oh, that was another thing that I wanted to talk about. So, there's a website. I'm going to have to talk about it later. There's a website for dancers, pretty much. I took some screenshots, but it's on this phone that I'm filming on. And pretty much it says on there, it tells you that clubs can charge a house fee for you to work, but they are not allowed to take any of your dance money or have a mandatory tip out. It's in writing, and I don't know why. You know, like, for instance, I texted my ex and told him about some things, and I was telling him that it was illegal for the club to take my dance money, and he said, no, it's not. And I said, why are you trying to gaslight me? You don't own a strip club anymore. You don't own that club anymore. So be here for me, since I'm the one you're trying to date. How about that? Have my best interest at fucking heart. What a fucking asshole. This is why I'm single. So he says, no, they can take dance money. So let me explain it. When you go into strip, you pay the club money. That money is to secure the spot for you to work in. That's how the state sees it. You are renting the club to dance in. The clubs are allowed to charge a house fee. That house fee can range anywhere from $5 to $100. It depends on when you're working and what day you're working. Every day is different. Fridays is going to be more expensive because those are the busier nights. Monday mornings, if you get there at 11:30 a.m. before we open, then there's a good chance you might not have to pay a house fee. This is one of the many reasons that I work an early schedule. So, while you're there dancing, for instance, like I did a room the other day. I did a VIP room. It was $300. The guy walks up to the bar with me. He pays for the dance. I receive $200 out of the dance. The other $100 goes to the club. That is the illegal part. Highly illegal. This is the part that I've been having a problem with. Remember when I was in Raleigh 3 weeks ago and I made $1,500 and I only got to walk away with $400? That's illegal. But what can I do about it? So there is a state-ran website, and it has all of your legal rights as a dancer on there. And it blatantly states that the clubs, if you're on a 1099, if you are an independent contractor, clubs do two types of hiring, an employee or an independent contractor. 90% of the time, you're going to be an independent contractor. If you're an employee, they pay you by check. That shit's sketchy. I'm not going to go into that because I don't work. No. Just run. Anywhere that wants to put you on payroll, run. So, it is not for your benefit. It's for their benefit. And you're already getting fucked because no matter where you go, they're going to take almost half of your dance money, which is illegal. But on the website, it says that if you're an independent contractor, that they can charge a house fee, which is what I've always said, but they are not allowed to take cuts out of your money for dances and or make it mandatory for you to tip out. When I told my ex this, he wanted to argue with me because he used to own a strip club and his brother still do. He owns all of them in Virginia. So, like, but my thing is like, why are you still lying? Like, it's me. Like, but you want me to be with you and marry you and move in with you, but you can't even be honest with me. Ugh, the stupidity, you know? What benefit is it of yours if I'm dancing in fucking Wilmington and I have a problem with how much of my dance money they're taking? Like, why does that concern you? Why not say, yeah, right, you're right, Brooke. Like, I understand you're right. You know why? Because that would be him admitting that he scammed thousands of women out of money that they earned. Because he did the same shit. I guess I should say we did the same shit. And if it were not for me, half of the dances that he saw money off of would have been doubled. It was only because I said, don't charge people a fucking arm and a leg when they come in, that he actually left the dances in the club at a reasonable fucking price. This man was trying to fucking charge thousands of dollars for a fucking room, just like all of the other clubs. And I said, no, that's stupid. You're going to run your business off. And he didn't do it. But then he ended up selling. But, and I'm glad. I'm so glad he got rid of that club. The stress. I was a full-time employee without any payment. Yes, my AC is fixed, Chill Billy. It was $1,300 or $1,227. My shorts are getting on my nerves, y'all. I feel like my ass is hanging out. Yeah, it was the condenser. It was the condenser. Not only that, but I also had, remember, they had filled it up with Freon at that one shop that kind of played me. That pisses me off. You know those guys, they do work on my tires. It's a shop across from a strip club that I used to work at. They have tires. They used to be 35. Now all of a sudden they're 50 for a used tire. I got a flat tire. My AC wasn't working. I went over there to get new tires. They put 4 new tires on my truck within 2 weeks. I was able to afford 2 tires 1 week. And the next week I went back and I actually had a friend of mine that used to visit me at the club. His name's Sean. Sweet, sweet, sweet man. He met me at the tire shop and gave me $100 for my front 2 tires. Well, while I was there, I told the guys my AC were broke. They looked at it. They said that it was out of Freon. They filled it up with Freon. And less than 10 hours later, my heat, it was pushing out heat. It broke. So that meant that there was a leak in the line of the Freon. So when I took it into Firestone, he told me that there was a leak. It was also out of Freon and I needed a condenser. So it was several things that they had to do at one time and it ended up totaling over $1,200. Yep. I looked up a condenser online. I Googled like car condenser and I actually Googled Chevy condenser. And it came up as a $700 to $1,100 part. So I know these guys didn't shit me. This was a verified Firestone place. Not only that, but there's a warranty on it now. So for the next 12 months, or either 15,000, no, it was 12 months or like 50,000 miles or something. If it breaks within 12 months or a certain amount of mileage, then I can take it back and they'll fix it because it has a warranty on the condenser itself. So that's good. I'm grateful that my ex paid for that because I couldn't pay for that. I don't have that amount of money. That's literally $1,250 is about what I'm making right now a month. That's literally about the income that I have right now. And that's just dancing. A reasonable deal. Yeah, they did a lot. They hooked it all up and, you know, they wanted me to drop it off and then pick it back up. They actually were able to get all of the work done that day. And I'm really grateful for it because it's made a difference. But now I have another issue, which is gas. I'm going through anywhere from $40 to $80 a day in gas. I had one day, the heat index was 107. It might have been Monday or either Sunday of this week. It was so hot, y'all. And I went through $80 in gas in one day. Now, I try to go in Planet Fitness and kill time there, or go in Walmart, kill time there, but there's days like today, it's raining. I'm tired. I've had a busy week. It is technically like Sunday for me, and so I'm just chilling. And so I know I'm going to go through a lot of gas today. Now, it is only 80 degrees, so there's going to come a point where I get off the phone with you guys and I'll roll my windows down, my front windows, because it's definitely the type of weather that I can stick it out. It's not 90s. If it's in the 70s, I can deal with that. I'll sit with my front windows down. But if it's in the 80s, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting menopausal. I don't know. But when I tell you I get hot, I get fucking miserable, and I get ill. And I definitely am sleeping better than I was. Y'all, when I was in Raleigh a couple weeks ago dancing, I don't know how I was making it. I really don't. I was getting maybe 1 to 3 hours a night of sleep. And then I was so fucking dehydrated. And it wasn't for lack of trying to hydrate. It was so hot that it literally just drains it out of you. And I was having health complications from the heat. And I wasn't sleeping, and I was going to work, and I don't even know how I was making it those 3 weeks that I was out there. Something that I talk about a lot is surface level people. And, my ex did fix my AC. He did. And I'm grateful for that. But I wish that I could get my AC fixed in a real conversation, though. He's not able to communicate. He's not able to talk about the future or the past or the present. And that's a huge problem. So you'll financially be there for me when something goes wrong. But if it comes down to having a serious conversation about anything, it's not possible. And it's best to stay away from people like that. Because people like that are manipulative. And we have a huge history, And more often than not, when he would do something for me, it was for his benefit, not mine. This is honestly the first time that I think I can ever think that he did something like this for me. He never would spend large sums of money on me. He would give me, $200-$300 a day to go get heroin. But when it came down to making a payment for a bill or something, it would never happen. The money for heroin was always there. But the money for school or, my health was not. And that's what I pay attention to, because that's manipulative. That's doing something for a reason and in hopes of the future seeing a benefit from it. It's not you doing it because you actually care about me. Because if you actually cared about me, you would be able to have a conversation. So I'm just staying away from people that are surface level people. People that would rather throw money in my face than actually sit down and do the hard work in a relationship and have a conversation. And I think that the majority of my adult life, starting around 17, this is what happened. I met my abuser. He threw a car in my face. I met this person. They'd throw this in my face. And when I look at the bigger picture, they were doing it for sexual gratification. They weren't doing it because they loved me. They were doing it because they wanted to sleep with me. Let's be honest. So that's the type of people that I'm focused on staying away from. People that don't mind throwing money around, but at the end of the day, don't genuinely care about me. They're doing it just so that they can get the sexual gratification that they want. So I have a bunch of clubs that I'm looking at. I'm headed to Virginia this afternoon at some point. It says that it's flooded at the beach. I'm going to Norfolk, 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 Norfolk. Let me read some of this. Yes, going back to talking about narcissist. When I had my doctor's appointment the other day, they asked me if I had ever thought that I had had bipolar disorder, and I said yes. I said I feel like I'm bipolar, and the doctor was like, "No, you're not bipolar." They said, if anything, you're struggling with borderline personality disorder. So then I'm like, well, what does that come from? And they said trauma. So it comes from traumatic events. It comes from not being loved as a child, not being shown affection as a child. It comes from not having the family's support as a child, like a regular family. Like, it comes from traumatic, violent, unstable upbringing. And what it is, it's where you don't know how to regulate your emotions. You struggle with severe anger, and I struggle with severe anger so fucking bad. I see things as black and white, and I've talked about this before. You're either good or you're evil. People that suffer from borderline personality disorder, they see it like this too. Now, something that I found interesting was that people who suffer from borderline personality disorder, typically they can also suffer from ADHD, autism, all the other things that, I've been diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, CPTSD, and PMDD. So all of the stuff that I do have, people that have borderline personality, it's very common for them to have those things as well. So she has me scheduled to see a clinical psychologist. Thank God for Medicaid, because I wouldn't be able to do this if I did not have Medicaid, which was one of the reasons I had to come back to North Carolina. But, you know, I'm looking forward to hearing what the clinical psychologist says. But something that my doctor was telling me, they said that it literally was just they said that people who suffer from borderline personality disorder have a tendency to get in relationships with full-blown narcissists. She said, and then I start looking this up, right? And it says, I asked Google, I said, what is people who suffer with BPM, who are they attracted to? And it says fucking narcissist. What are the chances? So I'm drawn to that. Yeah, Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk. Is it? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you know, honestly, I do better in areas that are not bougie. I do, like, you know, my doctor the other day was like, I will say that this new doctor I have they seem like they care a lot about people. They came outside and looked at my truck and looked in here because I told them that I lived in my truck. And they wanted to see my tires, and, you know, they checked my tires and made sure my tires were full of air. What type of doctor does that? It's so sweet. And, you know, they seem like their practice is a new practice. It's a new doctor in this area. And so they seem like they really want to help people in this area that are struggling. And the medication Suboxone is really hard to get. Not only is it hard to get, but it's super expensive. So it sucks. It really does. I wish that I would never got on it. I talk about this all the time. I literally just... Here it is. So it says, does ADHD attract BPD, which is borderline personality disorder? The two conditions share symptoms, genetic patterns, and environmental risk factors. Moreover, young people with ADHD are more likely to develop borderline personality disorder than those who don't. So it was saying that if you have ADHD, you have more likely chance to... Yes, if you have ADHD, you have a more likely chance to develop borderline personality disorder. Now, once again, this personality, it's a personality disorder. It's not like bipolar. Bipolar is a mental health condition. Borderline personality disorder is a personality disorder. It's fixable. It's completely different than bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a genetic mental condition that is forever. People with bipolar disorder absolutely can live a regular, fulfilling life. It's just a mood disorder where they have heavy ups and downs. And, borderline personality disorder comes from abuse. It comes from trauma. It says, who attracts people with BPD? Narcissist. This explains so much. I don't know. We'll see. That's what they said. They said that they feel like I have borderline personality disorder, and that they scheduled me to see a clinical psychologist so that I can get evaluated, which is what I've been trying to do for over a year. Remember, I went to Chapel Hill, UNC, to seek mental health services. Remember, they put me on Xanax, which could have absolutely killed me. It could have been the end of me. And they put me on a medication that's a narcotic, and I'm in recovery. When I told this doctor that, when I say that they were so baffled, I said, make it make sense. And they were just like, that is so dangerous. I said, that's what I'm fucking saying. You have to be your own protector. So it says, borderline personality disorder attracts to narcissists. One of the main reasons why people with borderline personality disorder are attracted to narcissists is because of the relationship dynamic that develops between them. Narcissists tend to be charming, confident, and charismatic, which can be very alluring to someone with BPD. It's something that I found interesting, that Google kept saying how intuitive people are that suffer from BPD. It was saying many people with borderline personality disorder are intuitive, empathetic, passionate, spontaneous, resilient, creative, courteous, intense, intelligent, and courageous. Every one of those just fucking describe me. Every single one of them. And those are not normal characteristics for a person to have. So, if they were normal characteristics, such as just like caring or loving or kind, then that would be different. But the courageous, intense, resilient, empathetic, passionate, spontaneous, all of that is me to a fucking T. See? Yeah. So if you've been through anything, if you were sexually molested as a child, I'm going to go off of things that I've been through. If you were sexually molested multiple times as a child, if you had both of your fathers turn on you, physically beat you, sexually assault you, if your parents constantly were fighting, there was always stress about where bill money was going to come from, or stress about if we were even going to have a roof over our head or food, if you had a parent that was an alcoholic or suffered from the disease of addiction. All of that is trauma. Being beat as a child, being spit on as a child, being called horrible names. And I'm not just talking about one interaction. I'm talking about this was my daily life from birth until I left home. So, I went through severe trauma as a child. And this is what makes a person who they are in adulthood. What we go through as a child absolutely dictates who we are as an adult, the things that we've overcome and what we've lived through. Yes. Empaths attract narcissists. Absolutely. And I am too. I'm neurodivergent. But I also have so many of these borderline personality characteristics that it's really unbelievable that I didn't know what this was. Because I've heard of borderline personality disorder. I thought that it was more like bipolar disorder. It's not. But it's similar. And if I have this would explain literally everything. So, a lot of people that have already been previously diagnosed with CPTSD, like I have borderline personality disorder, because CPTSD comes from traumatic events happening over and over. I went through everything I just mentioned. I went through before I left home at the age of like 12. So just imagine the shit after that, meeting someone who would mentally, physically, and emotionally hold me captive for over 15 years. That's not good psychologically. And you know how I was talking about, I always say like my brain isn't wired right? That's literally what borderline personality is. It's where your frontal cortex does not know how to regulate your emotions. Your brain doesn't know how to regulate your emotions. It's literally your brain saying, we're not wired right. We're not wired right because of all the trauma that you've been through. Something that I found interesting, it says, research indicates that borderline personality disorder is linked to an above average intelligence, IQ 130, an exceptional. So then it starts to say like all of these talents that you can have and stuff. It was saying how people that suffer with borderline personality have a tendency to actually have a higher IQ. That's pretty interesting. Oh, and it was saying like, it says exceptional artistic talents. It says individuals may it was talking about they tend to be creative. They write music. They can, I don't know, they just tend to be creative. Half of it's cut off at the bottom. That's why I'm like, it says. I don't know what it says because half of it's missing. It says other factors that may indicate a good outcome for people with borderline personality disorder includes artistic talent, obsessive compulsive features, physical attractiveness for women only. That's interesting. Why is it physical attractiveness for women only? But that sticks. And sticking with Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, for those that don't know, I go to NAAA, and I've stuck with it. I find that just interesting that that's thrown in there. It says BPD is a complex mental health condition that can affect mood, behavior, and relationships. People with BPD can often appear warm, friendly, and competent, but the disorder can also cause significant distress or impairment in friendships and work. And that is so me, dude. It's so me. The stress of my everyday life causes me to panic. So here it is again. Some research suggests that people with borderline personality disorder may have an above average intelligence with an IQ of 130 or higher. This intelligence can help people with borderline personality disorder process information and solve problems more quickly than others. See how fast I talk? It's because those thoughts in my mind are moving fast. And can make conversations with them intellectually engaging. All of this is describing me to the fucking T. Not the high IQ part. I mean, obviously, I barely know English. But my point is that maybe I'm not that dumb. Maybe I'm not that dumb. Maybe I have all of this mental health disorder that's actually impairing me and my ability to be able to take care of myself. Oh, yeah, 12 steps are amazing, man. I love the community. You have to find the good ones. There's one in Greensboro called Fellowship Hall that I really like to go to. That's a huge meeting. Lots of good people there. But then also, I've been to some not so good meetings where I saw drug deals going down in the parking lot. So you just have to be careful. I prefer AA, but that's just me. But either one is amazing. I think they're great. I think that the program is there for you if you want it. And that you should absolutely do your 90 in 90 days. Because I did. And I look back on that time and I couldn't tell you why I went to those meetings, but I'm glad that I did, because everybody in my life at that time wanted me to fail. Nobody wanted me clean. Nobody wanted me clean. It says, this clinical study of 23 borderline outpatients and 38 outpatients with other personality disorder provides evidence that individuals who become borderline frequently have a special talent or gift, namely a potential to be unusually perspective about the feelings of others. Is that not crazy? So I've said this before, how I feel emotions stronger than other people feel emotions. Like when I feel love, I feel like love, okay? Or when I'm angry, I get just enraged, you know? And that's how I feel on the inside. I've always been easily cut. Like, not personally, but like, how can I explain it? I'm not easily cut. That's why I'm trying to think of what to say. I just feel emotions on a whole nother level, and I don't know how to put it into words. But there's a reason for that. Many individuals with borderline personality disorder are highly intelligent and are aware that their reactions may seem strong. These individuals often report feeling emotions control their lives, or even that they feel things more intensely than other people. Their emotions are so extremely intense, which can lead to episodes of depression, anxiety, or anger that may persist for days or even weeks. People with severe borderline personality disorder symptoms have a tendency to amplify their emotions. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that I feel things so much more intensely than I feel like other people do. Like, I don't know. There's been times that people have passed away and I've watched everybody else around me just get on with life. And I'm just sitting there thinking about this person that we lost. And I'm wondering why nobody else feels sad that this person died. BPD is a mental health condition that can cause people to experience intense emotions, including mood swing, anger, and feelings of disassociation. These emotions can be highly variable and last from a few hours to a few days. Many people with BPD also have unstable relationships, feel worthless and or insecure, and act impulsive. Now, here's the thing. I was talking to the doctor and I said, but I don't have feelings of self-loathing or anything like that. And they said, ever? And I said, no. And they said, are you sure? And I said, 100,000%. Like, I don't have any emotions of like worthlessness or insecurity. So I'm grateful for that. But they said that didn't matter. They said just because one thing, so there's like 9 different qualifications. You have to have 5 of the 9 to qualify to be, or to be diagnosed with this. Just because I don't have that one doesn't mean that I don't have one of the other 8. You know what I mean? So I was just like, wait a second. It's quite the opposite. Maybe we should go the other way on that, because my self-confidence and self-worth is up here. So maybe we need to work on bringing that down a little bit. It says, do people with borderline personality disorder have intense emotions? Many people with BPD act impulsively, have intense emotions, experience disassociation and paranoia when in most distress. This emotional volatility can cause relationship turmoil. Also, the inability to self-soothe and regulate one's emotions can lead to impulsive, reckless behavior. People with BPD are often on the edge. I live on the fucking edge, if you can't tell by now, if you haven't been here before. It's unfortunate. People with borderline personality disorder may experience intense mood swings and feel uncertain about how they see themselves. See, that's what I was talking about. A huge part of BPD is not knowing who you are. Not having an identity. not being comfortable in your own skin, potentially suffering from body dysmorphia, potentially suffering from self-loathing. That's a huge part of BPD. So when I first heard this part about how they feel uncertainty about how they see themselves, I wasn't relating to that because I know who I am, and I always have known who I was. And I wasn't relating to that. But they swear that, you know, I'm just going to call her my doctor, because she does go by Laura. So maybe she does identify as a female. So yeah, because it's getting confusing. I'm confusing myself. So Laura says that just because I don't hate myself doesn't mean that I don't have borderline personality. And matter of fact, you can go to the opposite end of that by loving yourself too much, and that being a part of BPD. So an over what do you call it? An over appreciation of oneself, conceitedness. Their feelings for others can change quickly and swing from extreme closeness to extreme dislike. Now, this is me in a nutshell. My thinking is if you'll lie to me, if you'll bold-faced fucking lie to me, then you'll probably cheat on me, you'll probably rob me, you'll probably hurt me in other ways. That's just the way I see it. If you'll lie to me, then you'll probably cheat on me or do other bad shit. So I nip it in the butt and I get rid of people quickly. It's probably not a good thing because it's human nature to sin. But at the same time, I just know that what people have done to me, I would never do to anyone. Extremely loving yourself, yes. Yeah, I'm a Christian, Sarah. I think that I used to be into the occult. I had lots of witchcraft books, and I used to be a witch. And, you know, I just don't get involved in that stuff anymore. It's just not for me anymore. It's kind of crazy how it does absolutely relate to you, like your horoscope and these psychics. They just know what to say. It absolutely relates, and it's weird how that happens. But just for me, I feel like when I get involved in the occult stuff and I even pay attention to my horoscopes or I'm listening to these psychics on YouTube, I feel like it takes me farther and farther away from God. I feel like the closer that I get to that stuff, the farther I get away from God, and I can't hear his voice. And so I don't get involved in any kind of psychic or occult things anymore because I need to have my ears open for Jesus to tell me what to do. It is so interesting how horoscopes and how it relates. Like, there's girls on here, specifically women, who are psychics on YouTube. And, like, I'll watch some of their stream. And usually they'll be like, it'll have a little sign plate that says Virgo. They're talking about Virgo. I'm a Sagittarius. And they'll be talking about a Virgo. And everything that she's saying about a Virgo relates to me. Like, it's weird. I think that there's a way to word things as to which anyone and everyone can relate to something. And I feel like psychics and these people that are on the internet doing these readings, I feel like they say things that anyone could relate to. And even that medium guy, the young guy, I think he has blonde hair. He's a medium and he talks to like celebrities, dead families. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Even him, I've watched it and I can see like what's about to happen. I can already predict because I know. And yeah, it's just weird. These people do their research. That guy does their research on whoever it is beforehand, most definitely. So, freaking, that lady, my new doctor, she was telling me that, like I said, she came out and she looked at my truck, she checked my tires, and these are new tires, and she's like, your tires are bald, and I'm like, no, they're not, they're brand new, and she's like, oh, well, you might want to get those replaced, and I'm like, I just got them replaced. Like, she was very kind, and she let me have my, mental breakdowns and tell her some of which I'd been through, and that's when she finally said, well, we'll get you into a clinical psychologist. Do y'all know how hard it is to get to see that kind of doctor? Very hard. And there's not many of them in my area either. But I told her what happened at Chapel Hill. And she said that not only was that messed up, but that I would not have to worry about them putting me on any kind of narcotics, as to which I wouldn't remember who I am or where I am. I should absolutely sue that hospital. Even if I took them for a civil suit for something simple that I can handle myself for $5,000 and sued them for $5,000, they would probably settle outside of the courtroom before I even went in front of a judge. It's really scary to think about being in recovery and then going to a hospital to get help and them people feeding you full of fucking drugs and you don't remember anything. And when you tell them you don't remember anything, they just shove more fucking Xanax down your throat when you're in recovery. And then they write you a prescription to go home with when you're in recovery. And you came for a psych eval, but they didn't have a doctor available to do that. So you were stuck in a hospital for 7 days being a guinea pig. And you think you're there to get help. And these people just start putting you on lithium and Seroquel and Xanax. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So dangerous. So dangerous. When I ate a bowl of chicken noodle soup in there. And as I'm eating this bowl, I'm coming to. I'd been out for 5 days at that point. They'd given me so much Xanax that I didn't even know where I was or who I was. I went 5 days so strung out on Xanax that I don't remember anything. But apparently, I was going to music groups and everything. When I finally woke up, I'm eating my chicken noodle soup. And there's a girl beside me who was a college student at Chapel Hill. And she was trapped there. Her parents ended up having to hire an attorney to get her out of there. She was stressed out about midterms or some kind of testing at the university. I would be too. Chapel Hill is a very prestigious college. I would be nervous too. The amount of kids that come to that mental ward during this testing session or whatever was unbelievable. It wasn't one, it wasn't two, it wasn't three. There was kids coming left and right into the mental hospital during testing because they were panicking and having such anxiety problems. I just dropped my vape. But I'm sitting there, I'm eating this soup, and I look at this girl, and I'm like, hey. And she starts talking about something, and I have no idea what she's talking about. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, remember earlier? And I'm like, no, I don't. And I remember getting up and going to my room, and there was a book, a Jordan Peterson book that I had, and I had all of these papers in there, and it was notes from the whole 5 days that I'd been out of it. It was notes of everything that I was going through. I'd been taking notes unconsciously, physically, okay? And so apparently I had a seizure one day that I was there. I don't remember this, but I did. I had a seizure. And they took me downstairs to do like a CAT scan or something on me. I don't know. They put me in the tube. I'm talking about it in my notes. I have these notes. I still have these notes. But I'm talking about going into the tube and, you know, sure that I didn't get injured when I had this seizure. The fact that I even had a seizure in their custody on the medication, because of the medications that they gave me, that's huge. That's huge. Now, I'll never be able to know if the seizure came from the medications that they gave me, but I'm going to tell you right now, I've never had a seizure, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say absolutely it's the medications that they were giving me that caused me to have a fucking seizure. I could have died. I just dropped my vape, but here's another one, so I guess I'll give up searching for it. It's literally down. I'm never going to be able to get that one back. It's like down in my seat, and it's down there. I'll never get it back. But yeah, so apparently I'd been playing basketball. I had I had been running on the treadmill. We had had music group. I mean, these are all things that I was doing while I was in the hospital and didn't even know it. And so I'm reading these fucking notes, and I find out that I've had a seizure, apparently. That I had words with several of the doctors, because every morning they would come in and they would have like all of these doctors in a room, and you would sit down and talk to the doctors about how your stay was going, where you were at, and what you were doing, you know. And apparently I'd been going in there saying, I don't want to take the Xanax, I don't want to take the Xanax, and they kept telling me, you're going to take your medicine. When I found those notes, I went to the front desk and I asked to leave. I refused my medications from then on out. It took them 2 days to understand that I was not playing their fucking games, and that I absolutely would have a lawyer up there if they did not get me out of there. They got me out of there. But once again, they gave me drugs to go home with, Seroquel specifically, and I had no clue that Seroquel, if you take Seroquel and then you come off of it, you're going to be sick. You think they told me that before they put me on it? So, in my opinion, due to the fact that I was on Suboxone, and I've been a great patient on Suboxone, they thought that they were going to get more money out of me. They were hoping that the Xanax would work for my anxiety and that they would get more money out of me. These doctors and hospitals work for these pharmaceutical companies. They have them in their pocket. These doctors, these pediatricians, these fucking podiatrists, these fucking neuroscientists, they're not your fucking friend. They're working for these large corporations, pharmaceutical corporations. And they're absolutely getting kickbacks. And they almost destroyed my life. That could have been so bad. If I would have took that Xanax and got out here and got behind the wheel of this half-ton fucking truck and killed somebody, or I would have got out here and took some of that Xanax, and that Xanax made me feel like I wanted some heroin, because that's typical. That's very common, actually. Xanax can lead to heroin addiction. Like, it's crazy that I even have to fucking say these things. You would think that doctors know this information, but I guess not. That Xanax could have led to a relapse, which could have led to my death. And I don't know if that poor girl ever got out, the one that was panicking about school. There was another guy in there that I talked to too. And it's just heartbreaking. I mean, these kids, they need therapy. They need a safe space to open up and maybe scream and let it all fucking out. What they don't need is medications that they're not going to be given information on, pills that are going to be shoved down their fucking throat, that they're going to be physically reliant upon, and if they don't take them, then they're going to be fucking sick. That's the last thing that these two kids that were worried about college exams needed. And it's pretty fucking sad when one of their parents has to get an attorney involved just to get their child out of this fucking hospital. It was UNC Chapel Hill. It is supposedly one of the best hospitals in the state. It used to be when my mother got cancer treatment there, when my grandmother got treatment there. Wonderful hospital. It's trash now. They might as well just burn the whole motherfucker to the ground. Along with the college. It's went to shit. It's trash. Anyone that sends their child to that school is asking to just develop an idiot. Like, here's my child, teach them how to be dumb. Yes, and that's exactly right. You could tell that both of these kids, so one of them was a white guy, and the other girl was a black girl. You could tell that both of them were not like the most popular kids in school. You could tell that they had some struggles, okay? And when these kids are already going through so much socially, and then, you know, I can only imagine how that testing is at a college like that. Like, you know that it's not no easy testing at UNC Chapel Hill. Like, It can't be easy. But they have all of these social pressures, and then they have these academic pressures, and it's literally testing season, and these kids check themselves into a mental ward to escape all of it. And these people put them on such heavy drugs that the one girl was completely out of it. When I say drooling, completely out of it. For weeks, days. Like I said, her family ended up getting an attorney that got involved because they wouldn't let her go. And she wasn't even in her right mind. When she came in, she was in her right mind. When I left, she was not. And the first time I remember meeting her is when I woke up out of my comatose state and I was eating chicken noodle soup. And she's like talking to me about something that happened previous, and I had no clue what she was talking about. It was almost like I came out of a dream. It's crazy that they have the legal right to do the shit that they do. Doctors. Zombified, exactly. I don't want nothing that's going to make me drool on myself. I'm sorry. I just don't think anybody needs anything that's going to make them drool on themselves and not know, make them so incoherent to the point that they can't even wipe their own ass. Y'all think that's better than allowing these people to talk it out? We have fallen so far and hard that I don't think we're going to ever be able to recover. I really don't. I mean, when we have doctors that are more willing than ever to put a patient on drugs that they do not need just to get a kickback, there's a huge problem. And, here's something I want to talk about too. Ozempic. Let's talk about this for a minute. Because I have a lot of people that I follow on YouTube, mainly family-friendly, fun content. I watch a lot of dogs. I watch a lot of animals. I do watch some fun stuff. Some of my favorite creators are Tony, Two-Turnt Tony. Love that stuff. I mean, it's bad. It's definitely not something the child should watch, but it's funny. And who else? Oh, what's the redhead? Oh, God, he's so funny. He's the truck guy. Chill Billy, no. Ginger Billy or something. I love him. So I watch a lot of random stuff, but I watch also a lot of family content, and I love family content that's maybe a little different than the culture that I grew up around. Specifically, there's a family that I follow that the wife is from Africa, and her husband has had 3 or 4 kids. Both of these people used to be overweight. Not significantly, but still overweight. And you could tell that they were overweight. The wife and the husband. All of a sudden, both of them have probably lost a combined 100 pounds in 3 months. It's not just them, though. There's other creators that I follow. There's a lot of people that are using Ozempic. You can see that they're using Ozempic. There's no way that they've lost that amount of weight. If you go back and look at some of their TikToks or I don't watch TikTok, their YouTube threads, you can see just in 5 or 6 videos, they've lost 25, 30 pounds each. So, what is that? 3, 4, 5 weeks maybe? I don't know, but you get what I'm saying. You can see the weight loss. And I've seen a lot of females on here too that have lost a significant amount of weight that can only be attributed to Ozempic. It's one thing to actually work out and diet. It's a whole nother thing to lose that weight without doing anything. It could only be Ozempic. Yes, Kimberly, it's horrible for them. Absolutely horrible. I gotta dump this toothpaste, you guys, from where I washed my teeth. Let's step out in this free world. I'm at a Walmart, and I like it at this one. They leave me alone. I walked in there and blew their bathroom up earlier. I felt bad because the worker was in there cleaning it, but my stomach was rumbling. It was rumbling big time. Dog, you better just start running, you know what I mean? I've been eating a lot of peanuts lately, so Oh man, I'll be like, why does my stomach feel like this? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I ate like a whole pound of fucking peanuts yesterday. Trail mix. Yeah, right. A strict diet plan. I mean, what are the chances that all of these hundreds of thousands of people all of a sudden started a diet? No, we all know it's Ozempic. We all know that. Of people that are actually getting this prescription and get it for free, essentially, is astounding. There's so many people on this medication, but not only it's horrible, man. There's actually not really been any research done on the long-term use of this medication. Look at COVID. Look at what happened with the vaccine. People don't learn. People don't learn. One of the side effects, even the Suboxone. I've noticed a difference in my teeth. My teeth look yellow on this medication. And then I go and I find online that there is a Suboxone lawsuit pending for teeth rotting. You keep your mouth shut for 10 to 15 minutes on your teeth, and people's teeth are rotting out because of this medication. And we know that I wish I had internet on this phone, you guys. I'm gonna get internet. I got all these devices and no internet. But they're already having issues with Ozempic. We already have people coming forward stating that they've had health complications from this medication. So I just think that it's going to be a big deal in years to come. I think that we're going to see a lot of negative impact from this medication. And I think that the only proper way to lose weight is through actual dedication, hard work, determination. That's the only healthy way to lose weight, is to work towards losing weight and eat right. It's not that hard. And I know that some people will look at me and say, yeah, I'm sure that's easy for you to say. But hold on. I used to be a big girl. 200 pounds is a big girl. And, I got so big that it got to the point to where I didn't even weigh myself because of the depression that I was under from how big I was. Now, anyone can say, here's the thing. Me even saying that is considered socially unacceptable nowadays. Bullshit. Obese and unhealthy because of what I was eating and the way I was living. Point blank, period. It was my own fault. And when I finally realized that if I was going to let myself go, that was going to be the end of my life, and I was going to be surrendering myself to a fucking rest home to die, when I finally got it together, I realized that that's not what I wanted. That I wanted to live, that I wanted to be healthy, that I wanted to change. And so I had already started within on the work inside. And it was hard at first to get out there and to start walking. I started with walking. Thank you, City Boy. Kimberly, when I tell you that I used to wake up in my sleep, girl, and I would go get those balls, I would put them in a ball, I would heat it up in the microwave, and then I would go get me a cup or two of freaking ice cream to put on top. I would go back to my bedroom, I'd put a needle in my arm, and then I'd sit there and eat my food. And that's what I lived on when I was, and I can't tell you the last time I've had a potato chip. I can't tell you the last time that I've had a piece of cake. But my diet that I'm on is fulfilling. It's enriched with vitamins and minerals that I need. And there are days that I splurge and I do eat cake when I want it. But it's not a food group for me anymore, you know, and that's the problem. I was not eating vegetables. I was not eating proteins. I was eating shit, processed shit. And you could tell I looked like I was eating processed shit. And it's sad that we can't talk about these things and it not be looked down upon, and people take it personal. That's not what I'm trying to do. I did not feel good about myself when I weighed that much. I hated my life at that time. I was miserable. And I took it out on myself by just stuffing my face with more damn food. I feel so much better now than I think I ever have in my entire days, you know, like when my AC was broke, I was fucking crying and miserable then. And I have my day for being. I grew up in a also vape, THC, and I buy these out of a vape shop that's legal. These are horrible. They recently found out that there's pesticides in these. Matter of fact, the State Bureau of Investigation did an investigation. They bought hundreds of these products from different vape shops. They found out that they have pesticides. And I'm talking about heavy, heavy pesticides. We're talking about Monsanto pesticides. My life, I literally could holding me back probably more than anything else in my life, even exaggerating. I'll take some damn bok choy and some damn spinach and some in there. You just throw the whole kitchen sink into damn noodles, okay? Bacon bits and freaking cheese and chili powder and lemon juice and lime juice and chili crunch. I used to love oodles and noodles. When I was on drugs, that was like my main food group. That was at the top of the pyramid, oodles and noodles. And so I gained a lot of weight from this because they're bad packets and the sugar that's in the actual noodle packet. And so that was like my favorite meal, and I gained a lot of weight because of that. And now I have noodles maybe once every 2 or 3 months. So I still eat my favorite foods. I just eat them in moderation. And something that I was never a fan of is soda and juices. Sodas and juices are soda in particular, specifically. Soda specifically is one of the worst things that you can put in your body. If you're drinking soda, you are killing yourself. It's the ones without aspartame. I mean, it's just so bad. Soda, if you're drinking soda, that's why you're overweight. If you're drinking soda and you're overweight, that's why you're overweight. It's a waste of your calories. Yeah, fruit juices can be good for you. I actually love orange juice. I look for orange juice that does not have any added sugar. Orange juice, the vitamin C in one small orange juice will actually make you glow from within, without, you know, or outside. It'll make you glow your skin from within to out. And I drink orange juice sometimes just for the glow that it gives my skin. I love orange juice, but it's high in sugar, and you have to be careful with the drinks that are high in sugar. Pomegranate juice. Kimberly, I've never had that. I wonder what that's good for. I wonder if that has like fiber in it. I love sugar-free Gatorade and water. Those are my two, you know, and that cuts out a lot of calories. If you're drinking soda, that's where the added calories are coming from. So even though it's a liquid, it's still getting you big as hell because it has all of the sugar. Even if you're drinking the sugar-free, whatever soda is made out of, just, it puffs you up. You're going to be holding on to extra weight because of the soda. If you can just cut soda out of your diet, you'll probably drop like 30 pounds within a couple of months just from not drinking soda. And I don't have, you make your own juices. That's so smart. I've always wanted to learn how to juice. I see women doing it here on YouTube, and it looks to be really healthy for you. It looks like it can help with things such as acne. It can help with things such as stabilization in your mood. That's crazy to think about. Just the vitamins and minerals coming from pressing your own juice can affect your mood. That's crazy. That's huge. Something like that would bring me, like, that would give me the initiative to actually do it and, you know, try it, because I want to feel better. I don't know. I'm just glad that I didn't get stuck feeling sorry for myself. My back's killing me sitting like this. I'm just glad that I didn't get stuck feeling sorry for myself, because there was absolutely a point where I got to so big that I wasn't even weighing myself. And matter of fact, I remember I went to a doctor's appointment and the scale said 204, and that was the last time I ever weighed. But like I said, there was a point where I had to take a hard look and say, well, is this what I'm doing now, or am I going to try to lose this weight and be able to take care of myself? I went through a lot of trauma and stuff, and I'd kind of given up on life. Like, I didn't want to live. I really didn't. And I was depressed. And I'm glad that I had that conversation with myself and realized that it was up to me to pull myself out of that depression and get myself back on track to working, to having a normal schedule. When I tell y'all that I went through betrayal trauma that was so traumatic that I was not taking care of myself, I would get in my car and I would stay here for weeks at a time because I was so pressed. And my abuser absolutely wanted this. And so there came a point where I realized that he was trying to hurt me, that he wanted to hurt me. And that the only way that I could prevent going through this depression and hurt again was to get myself back on track, block this person, and never speak to this person again, and focus on me. And that's what I did. And it's really sad to think that I allowed someone in my life for almost 20 years, and the entire time they wanted to hurt me. But they claimed that they loved me, but they only hurt me. That's not love. My back is killing me. I've been bent over talking. Oh, I gotta straighten out for a minute. I gotta straighten out. Oh, God. So my doctor's really cool. I'm so glad that she freaking has answers. Like, you know, I thought that I was bipolar. I really did. And she immediately said no. She's like, no, you're not bipolar. And I was like, oh, okay. Because she asked me, she said, have you ever thought maybe you're bipolar? And I was like, yes. And she's like, you're not bipolar. And I'm like, okay, well then why fucking ask me? Like, she says, if anything, you have BPD. And I'm like, what? And she's like, borderline personality disorder. She said it comes from traumatic events, being traumatized time and time again. I said, so it's like CPTSD. I said, I've already been diagnosed with that. She said, it's very common. She said, most people that suffer from CPTSD also suffer from borderline personality disorder. So these things kind of go hand in hand, you know? And I'm just glad to have, like, some kind of explanation, you know? Because I know that I'm not stable a lot. Like from outwards appearances, I look stable. But when you get around me, I'm not, you know. Well, how can I say this? I'm emotionally not well, you know. But I know a lot of us are not. Like, I don't know anybody that's emotionally well. Not one person. I don't know anybody that's emotionally well. Oh, that's a fucking fact, Jack. My bed is crooked, y'all. It's fallen. It's fucking fallen. I don't know how to explain it. It's at a tilt. Ugh. Let's stuff something under it so it's not. It's crooked. This end down here is tilted. And I know that you can't see it, but it is. It's like tilting down because it's not level. So this is the only problem that I have out of this bed. And I typically have it pretty evened out. You can just take a blanket and shove it under there. Okay, now it's up in the air, but with my ass on it, there we go. Better. Yeah, it's been doing something weird lately. It's like I need something to go right here. There we go. Better. Oh, speaking of orange juice, where is... Sugar-free. Sugar-free! So I do drink, like, sports drinks a lot. But I drink the sugar-free ones. Alright. So this has got vitamin A, E, B, 2 different types of B. Vitamin B12 and B6, that is what you need for energy. Women, we lack that on a daily basis. Like, if you want to wake up and chug one of these, it'll probably make you feel better instantly because of the lack of deficiency for B12 and 6. It's also got this pantothenic acid. I don't know what that's for, but it has 100% of that too. The vitamin C from this will make my skin glow. And this is fake vitamin C. Don't get it twisted. This is not good for you. See, that's the problem. This is not good for you. The dyes alone are horrible for you. But it's better than a soda. So I'm wondering when I should head to Virginia. Like, I've kind of been just bullshitting around today. I had to go get my new prescription. She gave me a week's supply, my new doctor. And, you know, honestly, I ain't never got down to my last bit of medicine. I've never gotten down to, like, a day's worth of meds, ever. I'm a planner. I plan things because if I don't, it makes me feel like things are not organized. Through planning, it makes things, for me, run smoother. And I don't have to stress as much. But I'd gotten down to 1 day of medication left. And so when I saw my doctor, thank God she had asked me on the phone, like, how much medicine do you have left? And I'd actually said till Friday. I don't know what I was thinking because I really only had enough till Thursday. But she got me immediately in there, did my evaluation, got me hooked up with the clinical psychologist, and then gave me my medicine. But Medicaid didn't cover it, so I had to pay out of pocket once again, which is the whole reason that I was buying this shit off the street 2 years ago. I used to buy these off the street because it was cheaper than going and seeing a doctor and getting it from a pharmacy. That's sad. When it's cheaper to go see a heroin addict to get Suboxone, that's saying something about the pharmaceutical industry and the access to this medication. It's bullshit. Y'all put me on something that I have to damn torture baby kittens to get a script. That's what it feels like. So the other day I went and purchased all new products for the month. So I always get a muscle milk, a chia seed, a pre-workout, and a PB peanut butter. That's the first time I bought that peanut butter, that Fit peanut butter. I did not know if food stamps will cover that, but they will. So just FYI, I'm going to Norfolk. And I'm going to be driving to Virginia Beach for work. I don't stay in the same city. And matter of fact, I might not even stay in Norfolk. But I am going to work in that area. Moonrise. I'm going to be very surprised if I walk in these clubs in Virginia and they don't have pretty girls. Like, I'm just being honest that one of the reasons that I've never ventured up this way is because this is closer to the DC area. And Virginia apparently is very wealthy. And I didn't realize that till recently. Somebody informed me that there's a lot more wealthy people in Virginia than there is North Carolina. I didn't know that. So, you live and you learn. But I had to get new shampoo yesterday. And I use this brand a lot, so it's just a new bottle, not a new brand. But, I don't know. We'll see if it brings me more income. They're saying that area is supposed to be richer than where I'm at. So I'm hoping that financially I'm able to notice a difference in the income. How much money I make. Oh, shit, I'm stuck. Oh my God, stuck. Dirty clothes. Yeah, I always had like this picture in my head, dirty clothes from my gym bag. I had this picture in my head that like Virginia had these beautiful like supermodel, like girl next door, beach bod type of bitches, you know? But judging by their social media pages, I don't think I'll have a problem. I think I'll fit in. I think that they have girls kind of like mediocre like me, like middle ground. I've always considered myself like, it's crazy because I've said this before, but I don't put a whole lot of weight in my looks. And you would think that somebody that makes a living off of their looks would absolutely be so vain and shallow, right? But I'm not, and I really don't care. I'm happy with me, and I always have been. But you would like, so like bottom of the barrel is like, you know, I don't know, bottom of the barrel, and then you have like your top upper crust is like supermodel looking dancers, and I'm like in the middle. Like I'm not at the bottom with the girls, you know, but I'm not at the top either with like supermodels. So, but Virginia, I've always had this picture in my head of what they hire in this area because of the customer base that they hold, because they're so, thank you, because they're so close to DC. So it's a lot of rich people. There's a lot of generational wealth in Virginia. A lot of those people were born into money. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just staying positive. But, you know, ain't it crazy, like, for, like, girls, ain't it crazy how, like, right before your period, you get kind of crazy? And then after your period, you're like, oh, yeah, that's why I was crazy last week. So I do that twice a month. I do it when I have my period, and then I do it when I'm ovulating. So every week, I have something going on. It's like I never... It sucks so bad. It really does. It sucks. And it interferes with my relationships, my work, my school. It interferes with everything. And I don't want it to be that way. I wish that my ovulation and period did not cause me to have mood swings that were so bad that at least 1 or 2 days out of a month, I want to just literally drive off a bridge and just end it all. That's how intense it is. I'm being for real. That's how intense it is. And it sucks. And then trying to imagine working and trying to be normal when you're going through that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. When I tell y'all that these fans ain't worth a shit, so y'all were with me when I bought this one, and then y'all were with me the day I got this one. First of all, let's do a full review. 2-minute review. This sucks. Throw it in the trash. Don't waste your money. The air that comes out of it is not strong at all. You get a much better wind turbine from a fan like this. The battery says that it's supposed to last 6 hours, but I can't even get 30 minutes out the son of a bitch because he just kicks the bucket and quits working. It does have an LED light and all these other little crappy features. Waste of money. Waste of money. This one actually spins, and you actually do get a great flow with this fan. I hook it on right here on this bar. And I face it right towards me, so it literally can stream up on me as I'm in bed. And it works great. Now, it'll last for about maybe 3 to 4 hours. It works phenomenal. And then I'll wake up like in the middle of the night and realize that it's not running. I'll hook my battery pack up to it. This is a portable battery pack that I can hook into it. It'll last another 4 hours that way. But both of them, I would say get this. It's 21. It hooks on. It's got a light. It's got different settings. It's got a timer. And it also has the benefit of this clip that you can actually clip on to something. So this is where it's at. It's 21. This just throw it away. I regret. Remember, if you were with me when I bought this, I was talking about holding on to the box because I had the box in here for 2 days trying to decide if I was going to keep it. I wish that I wouldn't have thrown the box away because I would most definitely take that POS back. Waste of money. I mean, I have to, sometimes I'll be in bed and I'll have that fan going this way, and then I'll have this one right here like this. That's how close it has to be for you to feel it. Also, the buttons don't work that great. The buttons half-ass work. You have to hit them multiple times in order to get them to work. So, yeah. I wish that I had another one of these black fans because I could put it on this end and just have shit circulating every way. Every way. So I have some trash that I need to throw away before I evacuate the parking lot. We're gonna jump into our driver's seat. Maybe, if I can get my ass in here. I'm scared I was gonna flash off. Ow, I'm stuck. Man, take that shit back without the box. I'm really gonna look like a crackhead rolling up in there then. I'm gonna be like, will y'all take this back without the box? They'll swear I'm on drugs. They'll swear it. They'll swear it. And I'll just be standing there like, no, it just doesn't have any wind. It doesn't have any wind. It doesn't work. Oh, God, that sounds like a crackhead move, taking it back with no box. I'm sorry. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. I'm going to take my phone. Oh, I got to take y'all's diaper off. All right, I got you out the diaper. Fucking OtterBox. Pain in my ass. So, right now, everything actually looks organized back there. God dang it. Are you for real? Nothing's ever easy. I don't know if I bought it with a card or cash, but, you know, at this point, I've done used it for a couple of months. I'm just going to keep it. Fan. But, the main reason that I wanted to keep it was because the air coming out of it is colder than the air that comes out of the black one. So the air that comes out of this is absolutely colder, but you're not going to get as much air as the black one. So it's kind of like a win-win, lose-lose type of thing. It's like I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. So I started HGH a couple of months ago. I gotta unplug y'all because my phone. What I just did. I just dropped that freaking stuff everywhere. So this is human growth hormone, which is a hormone that is our most important hormone. It's one of the most important hormones in the body. We start losing HGH around the age of 30 years old. Our body produces it naturally. However, by the age of 30, our body stops producing it at the rate that we actually need. Now, this is the same hormone that Lance Armstrong, no, Michael Phelps, some of them Olympic people, they got in trouble for using it, and they got damn in trouble and kicked off the team type of thing, you know. But, you know, when it first came out in the 90s, there was all of this, like, bullshit about what HGH was. And misinformation, a lot of misinformation, and still to this day. It's just, it's a hormone that we make in our body. However, when we get to a certain age, our body stops producing as much as we actually need. So, this is, I didn't buy this. You have to have a prescription. So, I'm trying it. I don't know if I've noticed. Phelps smoked weed. Didn't we all? This lady that I house sit for her, I was cleaning her house and seen it and asked her what it was, and she said that I could have it. So, yeah, that's how I got it. She said she didn't like it, that it didn't work for her. Now, I will say that when I do my 5 days on, so you do 5 days on and 2 days off, 5 days on, 2 days off. When I do my 5 days on, I do notice that I have more energy. Now, y'all remember I was talking about Sammy from the strip club from Savannah's that I worked at early in the week, how Sammy used to be overweight and then he lost weight and I didn't even recognize him. Sammy told me that one of the things that was life-changing for him as a man was having access to testosterone. He went to his doctor and told his doctor, like, hey, dude, I feel like shit all the time. I don't know what's going on with me. I've put on all of this weight. You know, is it a thyroid? What is it? So his doctor put him on testosterone shots and vitamin B12 shots. Now, you can get these vitamin B12 shots at a dermatologist or a regular doctor. I've had these B12 shots before. I got them done at the Botox place. Now, I've never had Botox, but I did do laser tattoo removal to get all of the track marks off of my arm when I got clean. It was black tar marks that I got removed, and when I was there, they also do Botox, rhinoplasty, fillers, and they asked me if I would like to try the vitamin B. So I tried it. I didn't really notice a huge difference on vitamin B shots, but Sammy said he did, and he said that his testosterone also being low and then getting those shots, that's how he was able to lose almost 100 pounds. Like, he's a short guy. He's probably 5'5" like me. And he was at like 260 or 270, I do believe he said. And now he's at like 170. So the man has lost almost 100 pounds, if not 100. And he attributes all of that to testosterone and vitamin B12 shots. And then there was another one that he got. It was 3 shots. And I can't remember the other one. But he said that all of them was life-changing for him. So there's going to come an age where our body is not producing the things that we need. And most of us know this. You know what's crazy, though, is to hear this stuff. Like, alright, for instance, women, we hear about, like, menopause and stuff like that. We hear about it through the grapevine, but we don't know anything about it until we think we're going through it, and then we Google it, and we're like, oh my God, this is what we have to look forward to. Like, you really don't know until you really live through something sometimes. And, you know, we all hear that testosterone and our, you know, our growth hormone and all of that starts depleting itself as we get older, but we don't think about it until we actually go through it and experience it. God, I'm not looking forward to menopause, y'all. It is terrifying me, if I'm just being honest. Like, I'm so terrified. You know what I'm terrified of? Me. I'm terrified of me. I'm terrified of me. I'm scared that I hear that the mood swings and the hot flashes and all of that shit is so scary. I've heard of women, you know, committing murder going through menopause. And that's what scares me. I'm scared of the mood swings. I'm scared of the person that's going to turn me into. The last thing I want to do is be going through menopause and get in an argument with somebody at damn Walmart over a cart and bust somebody in the throat. You know, and that's what I'm scared of, is my patience and how hard and strong are these mood swings going to be. Am I going to lose my mind in the middle of damn Staples on a Tuesday morning? Or am I going to be able to deal with it? And it's no secret that my emotions, I cannot regulate half the time. That's something that I'm working on. And a lot of times I just get myself out of the situation to avoid it, you know? Like, certain people I just don't even go around. Certain people I just don't even talk to because I just don't have the patience to deal with their stupidity. And that sounds great in theory, but really it's not. That's just me running away from people that I should be able to deal with. It's not healthy to isolate yourself and run from all your fucking problems, but I'm definitely a runner. Gas has shot up. When I got back to North Carolina, first of all, Virginia is more expensive than North Carolina. Gas was more expensive up there. Not only was gas more expensive, but the food and everything. Sorry, I missed y'all. Let's see. Yeah. G Towers. I don't have. Vit B is all I take. Yeah, vitamin B is good. They also have them in a lot of energy drinks now. I'm noticing vitamin B12 and 6. You're still getting a period? Damn. Maybe you're stuck with that thing, girl. I don't even know what age you have menopause. I thought it was like 40. I thought it was like 40 years old to like 60. Oh, yeah, another thing. You're right. Another thing for them to make money off of. Absolutely. You know, it wouldn't even be out here if they couldn't make money off of it. It wouldn't even be an option. Oh, God. It's all about money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would have never spent my money on that human growth hormone. But if she wants to give it to me for free, I'll take it, honey. I'm all into the gift receiving. So gas in Virginia was like $3.40, $3.35. I come back to North Carolina and I went to my favorite gas station over in Eden, North Carolina, and I got gas for $3.09. I'm in front of the Murphy's USA at Walmart right now, and I bet you gas is at $3.35 here now. When it was in Monday, it was $3.09. I filled up my truck for $85. I'm about to have to fill it up again. And this will be the third time this week I've filled up. I don't even see a sign. 327. 327. I ain't got no bra on, but I'm going to throw a sweater on to go in here because am I the only one that can't go out nowhere without my brassiere on? Here we go. Look at that jacket. If I ain't got no brassiere on, I ain't going in nowhere unless I got something to cover these things up. I mean, you can't even really tell probably because I don't have... I got antheels, but still... No matter where I go. There'll always be some weird little old man in the corner looking at me. We need some shmonnies, honey. Where's the shmonnies? I've got a quarter of a tank. It's $3. I hate breaking 20s. Alright, so we're putting in... Oh, God. See, this is the struggle I have. This might be the cheapest place to get gas. If it is, then I need to go ahead and fill completely up. And knowing my luck, I'll get to damn Virginia, and it'll be $4 a damn gallon. No, you're right, Moonrise. I saw this one girl the other day in these freaking UGG platforms. They look like my UGG platforms, and they're like furry. And she literally had on a pair of fishnet stockings. Pay. Oh, I forgot I got these last night. Freeze-dried candies from Walmart. They're actually really good. They're Skittles. They're freeze-dried. Or, what do they call that when they're crispy? Ain't it freeze-dried? Or is it dehydrated? That's beef jerky, Brooke. Oh, we need a coffee, y'all. What y'all want? I usually get these little espressos because they don't have a lot of sugar in them. Everything has tons of sugar. You can... The Celsius I can't drink. They cause me to have liver issues or kidney problems. One of the two. I don't know what it is, but it causes... You can go... Pain. So these, you see that? You would think that that's healthy. Look at the sugar on that. That is not healthy. That's a dessert in a bottle. All right, so we're just going to grab one of these little... What the hell, yo? This freaking phone. So I had another cooler back here. Y'all, it must have flew out on the highway because it's gone. It was an orange cooler, and I poured all the water out of it, and now it's just gone. So it had to have flew out. That's some bullshit. It's ridiculous. I was watching this show that was made in 2020. It's called Your Honor on, I think it's Netflix, but it could be Showtime or something. It's really good, actually. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend going and watching it. It's really good. It's called Your Honor. And such a good show. I've only seen the first season. I'm dying to see the second one. But in the show, it was filmed in 2020. So the show was being filmed before COVID happened, at the beginning of 2020, back in January. So they start filming this show, and in the show, you can see gas stations and what the gas prices were back then. There's one shot in the show that you can see a gas station says $2.25, if I'm not mistaken. That's what gas was. Ooh, ugh. So this has got 100%. So this is made with sugar alcohol. For those that don't know what sugar alcohol is, it's a sweetener. It will absolutely upset your stomach and give you the shits. So if you're dealing with the opposite, you can have some of that. You'll be good. But it has vitamin B, and they don't taste the best. I drink these for the energy. I don't drink them because of the taste. It's got 110% of niacin, 110% of vitamin B, and 110% of vitamin. 30% of your daily intake of that a while ago. And there's that acid again. I'm gonna have to do my research on that. I wonder what it's for. But biotin in an energy drink, that's a smooth move. I like that. Oh, it's too cold though. It hurts my teeth. So y'all didn't have a chance to hear it. When I walked up to that window to pay for my stuff, that lady was a bitch. I can't. You're gonna be here all day, like you're clocked in. Why are you being a bitch to me? Before I even got out to the window, I had my, what do I pay money for? For my damn internet service to stress me out, I reckon. Makes me so mad. I'm gonna have to run by Planet Fitness and shop. I also have to go to my storage facility. I want to grab my cowboy boots and take with me in hopes of being actually to perform some routines in my outfit. What I would like to do. Now, they call that a feature, but I'm not a feature because I don't have a whole team of specialists helping me with my career. But if I could find a team that I could absolutely feature, because that's technically what I'm doing. I'm going from club to club and seeing if it works for me. This kid in this blue car, we're going to see him on the news one day. He's been all over the fucking road. When we made this left-hand turn back there, he almost flew off the road into the freaking ditch over here. His tires are slippery and his back end is sliding every which way, and he keeps revving his engine and, you know, doing what they do. Look at this idiot. Y'all see that car come flying up? I'm gone. I love y'all. I'm gone. God's telling me to leave because my internet, so I gotta go. I'll update y'all when I get to Virginia and get settled. Y'all be safe. Stay safe in the rain if you're in this rain. And pray for me because God knows I need it, and I'm praying for y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.